Parents and teachers agreed a Louisville high school principal needed to go.
A state report determined Vicki Letty unfit to lead at Moore High School. Last week, she took one last shot at holding onto her job, but tonight may have been the nail in the coffin. Wave 3 News reporter Casey Cunningham joining us live with more on what happened tonight.
Shannon, a council decided that Vicki Letty was not welcome here at Moore Traditional School, at least not as principal.
Principal Letty, is there anything else you want to say to the students or staff here?
I have no comment. Vicki Letty will not be returning to Moore Traditional School, at least as principal. The school's council decided not to appeal a report by the state that called Letty unfit to lead.
If we want this school to be successful, Miss Letty is not the choice for leadership.
Letty made another plea to stay.
It's my recommendation that I stay as a high school principal and we hire a lead middle school principal.
A page from the state's report said Letty had created an environment that was inconsistent and sporadic.
Many interviewees stated that the principal plays favorites and intimidates those she does not value.
It's a statement that rings familiar to former River Valley Middle School teacher Sandy Gordon.
You know, if somebody tells you you're something long enough, you start questioning if you are.
She worked with the principal years ago when Letty was being investigated by Clark County school officials for creating a hostile work environment.
The sad thing is, it's time for them to put a stop to how many people she's hurt, how many students she's hurt. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
7-4, the council voted not to appeal her removal, a move some parents tell us they're ready for.
It's sometimes you feel like you're fighting a no-win situation when you deal with her.
One council member says he wasn't ready to see her go quite yet.
And I didn't totally feel comfortable with just removing Miss Letty out of there without having a chance to have a review.
JCPS says while she's done it more, she can apply to other positions within the district. And her contract ends on June 30th. Reporting live at Moore, Casey Cunningham, Wave 3 News.
Separating the truth from the lies. Coming at you from underneath the Noonan, Georgia heavily chemtrailed sky, you're about to receive a dose of the shock treatment. This is a shout out to all the educators out there that have to put up or are putting up with abusive administrators. Are you a teacher? Are you getting abused by your administrator? Are they tag teaming? You know, the first year you were at the school, they loved you. You stayed there 3 hours extra. You were there on Saturdays, but then you saw other teachers that have been there leaving at 4 o'clock. That's what the contract says. And so you decide to pack up at 4 o'clock and actually try to have a life after hours, after school, and all of a sudden you're in the crosshairs. You're in the crosshairs. You're no longer volunteering to be the coach like you did the first year you were at the school, because you have kids. You have a life to live too, you know? You did your part, you paid your dues. But now you're in the crosshairs. For some strange reason, the administrators are turning on you. And you don't know which way to turn, do you, Georgia teachers? You're with Page, and Page sucks. You're with GAE sucks. Have I got the place for you? The South's toughest and most feared union for teachers. It's called MACE, but there's a warning. But before I go into the warning, folks, this organization is so powerful. I taught middle school 6 years, and I found out just a few months after I decided to walk away from the abusive situation that I was in. And about 4 other teachers left the same year for about the same reasons. Folks, that's not normal. And he continued to hear that more teachers have left after that. And so, let's get into what happens when you're being harassed by the administrator. Well, they could do it a lot of different ways. They could start coming in your classroom a lot, which undermines your authority once the kids catch on. Why are they in Miss Smith's class, over and over again? They never used to be. Maybe I should go talk to the principal. Miss Principal, I don't like the lesson today. And then the principal basically pits that kid against you. Gives him a free pass to get up and tell, I don't like the lesson today. Or he gave me a 0. She gave me a 0 on my homework, which the kid deserved. But when they put you in the crosshairs, for whatever reason it is, could be you're more popular than the administrator. Maybe that he's jealous. Could be any number of reasons. But the fact of the matter is, you're treated as a second or third class citizen. Actually, third class, because they're putting the kids before you. They're putting the parents, and you put yourself in the hock. You took the student loan, which I'll get into at another date. That's a scam. They don't sit you down at 18 and say, hey, if you fall behind, if you get married, and you have kids, and life starts taking over in that respect, and you're going to work and raising a family, and you fall behind on this bill here, this is what could happen. It'll compound, and never stop. Never stop. Which is a crime, in my opinion, in and of itself. But that's a side note. That shows you the lengths that the teachers, the educators put themselves through and go through to be in the classroom, to teach, right? But then they're treated like crap by these administrators. And I'm not saying all of them, but there are a lot out there that do it. And some are worse than others. Some are actually Hitlerian. All right? Or I should say Shitlarian. And so the teachers don't know what to do. They belong to Page here in Georgia, or GAE. They're calling them and documenting, but if they get the actual person on the phone line to tell them the story, what's going on, all they get met is with a runaround. They need someone to crawl up the administrator's ass with a microscope. And Mace is the place. Located in Fayetteville, Georgia, headed up by Dr. John Trotter. I found out about him a little too late. But let me tell you something. Warning, he is not politically correct, and he's there to piss them off and get them the hell off your back. If I remember correctly, Dr. Trotter was in the registrars when I believe they falsely accused the Fulton County registrar of tampering with the grades or fudging the numbers or something like that. And he shut that thing down. He shut it down. So warning, Mace is a kick-ass teachers union. And Mace does not think that you can have good learning conditions, administrators, until you first have good teaching conditions. And this goes for employers in general. Quit treating your damn employees like crap. A happy employee is a great employee. That's what you want. You want a content employee. That same thing. You're an employee when you're a teacher of the county, right? Or state. However you want to look at it. State, I guess. And, you're an employee. So treat your employees good. And they'll treat you back. The returns will be manyfold. And it'll work. And everybody works in harmony. And everybody's happy. That's the way it should be. It shouldn't be teachers walking in a freaking wall against a hallway against the wall because they're afraid of their own shadow. They're walking on eggshells and getting micromanaged. Quit micromanaging, administrators. All right, get off their backs and let them do their damn job that they were hired for and that they put themselves in debt for. How dare you, administrators? You high and mighty think you are a god. That's what you're doing, playing God with these people's lives and their means of making a living. Shame on you. That's right, folks. Teachers, get Mace. Drop that zero and get yourself a hero. Drop GAE. Drop Page. Check out Mace, the Metro Association of Classroom Educators. All right? And here's some other stuff they stand for. If you're squeamish, faint of heart, or not disgusted by how angry and arrogant and are now... Wait. Time out. Because I am reading. If you are squeamish, faint of heart, and are not disgusted by how angry and arrogant administrators abuse classroom educators, then you need to exit this website. Yeah, you need to exit. If that doesn't make you sick, that they treating the teachers like crap. If that doesn't piss you off, this place is not for you. Mace is not the place for you. But if it pisses you off, Mace is the place. Teachers, it's time to wake up. Just because your life is rosy, maybe you coasted along for 10 years, but you know what? You might hit that bump in the road. You might get in the crosshair somehow. I mean, I guess there are a lot of teachers out there that kiss ass. They bow down, they kowtow. But, you educators out there that, when they're harassing you, when they're constantly in your room, undermining your authority, giving the kids the authority and giving them the power, basically, and the parents, and if they're making up stories about you, well, you didn't enter a grade and parents called me. Well, what parent? Well, they won't tell you the name. See, they're making it up. That's fake news. But that's the way they can harass you, right? That's the way they can try to undermine you. And you need backup, folks. You're thrown to the wolves out there. You're caught between the crosshairs between the kids, the parents, and the administrators. The administrators should first and foremost support, not with lip service. How may we support you? Not like that. We're talking about friggin' action support. All right? We're talking about get off their back support. We're talking about quit making up stories about them and lies and trying to get them, push them out of the education, their career, their position, that you loved them for several years, didn't you? But now all of a sudden you got a bug up your ass. Why? Because the person's leaving at 4 o'clock instead of staying at 7? The person's not swinging by the teacher, your room, in your office, and kissing your arse in the morning? Is that what it is? Whatever the reason is, it needs to stop. Guys, teachers, people, listen, if you're an educator, get Mace. Get Mace. Because Mace, I'm telling you, it's not politically correct. They're very aggressive. They'll go out there with the bullhorns. They'll get in the office. And this guy, Dr. John Trotter, he's actually a lawyer of education. He knows all the laws about pertaining to education. So Mace has been dubbed a radical teachers union by the media. That's good. Mace feels that it's radically wrong for the administrators to allow students to curse at teachers, right? To use abusive language, to hit them, to physically assault teachers, which I've had a friend that was in special ed, literally was punched or something like that. I mean, hit. And she was a woman, about 60 years old. Unbelievable. You could write them up for being unruly, and they'll be back in your classroom in 30 minutes. That's how it works now. It never used to work that way. When I was in school, you just got you had a choice. In-school suspension, or 3 licks on your, and that means 3 paddles on your ass. They call them licks here themselves. It's paddles. All right? Oh, but that's abuse. No. What they're doing is enabling these kids to run amok, and that's why you got the schools in the conditions that they are. These indoctrinations, what they are, institutions, and the shoot 'em ups are going out more and more and more. There's no discipline, you know. DFAX is pretty much tied to the hands of a lot of parents. Oh, it's abuse, it's abuse. You can't spank your kid, right? That's bullshit. The Bible says, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." But what they're doing is they're just creating a generation of lawlessness. That's where we're at now, especially with these damn commies. I bet you these administrators are commies, watching fake news and want to have a hankering to vote for freaking communists. Unbelievable. Mace says they're against, teachers being assaulted, as well as fellow students on a regular basis, to falsely accuse teachers so that they themselves can be exempted from doing any real schoolwork. All right, students falsely accusing teachers, right? And the administrators, some of them, will actually give the students a pass just to stand up in the middle class. Particular favorites, go run to the assistant principal. What are you doing? Sitting on his lap, telling him lies about the teacher? This is unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable what's going on out there, and you shouldn't have to put up with it. All right? So they themselves can be exempted from any real work, to cheat on exams and schoolwork with total impunity. Yeah, you get them on plagiarism, right? And if you call up the parent, and the parent says you're setting them up for failure. How so? It's your kid that freaking plagiarized. You just mad that you got busted, right? But then they'll run to the principal and they'll make up bullshit lies about him. And if the principal's gullible enough or has you in the crosshairs, she'll use that as leverage. Do you see what I'm saying? It's constant uphill battle. And teaching is stressful enough. I mean, for most teachers that do it right. I've seen some that actually sit on their ass all day and file the nails. I don't know how they get and coast along. They get in there at 8:15 and leave at 4. I don't even see them taking papers home to grade. It's unbelievable what certain ones do get away with. But overall, there are teachers that really are suffering out there needlessly. Good teachers, hardworking teachers, honorable teachers. So Mace believes that the current blame the teacher culture is radically wrong and that radical measures have to be taken. Mace radically defends classroom educators, radically and not illegally. Mace is always armed with the you. School system have tried to ban or to no avail Mace and its officials. Mace officials have been falsely arrested and falsely incarcerated for standing up for teachers. Most of the charges are summarily dismissed. Not one charge has been prosecuted. What are the so-called unions full of abusing administrators and the membership ranks? You got to think about this. Page JE. The administrators, right straight out of horse's mouth right here, says that they're part of GAE and part of PACE. So why the hell you think if that administrator is abusing you that the same organization that you belong to and that jackass belongs to is going to help you? All right, get out of town with that mess. Get Mace. Mace is the place. Mace believes in no teacher left behind. They like to say no student left behind, huh? And where do they get this left behind from? They're trying to rip that out of the Bible. Like, don't be left behind for the rapture. I mean, what is this? No student left behind. You get second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances. Oh, and if the students sleeping in class, it's the teacher's fault. No, it's not the teacher's fault. It could be the home environment's fault. You jackasses, you. You know, Dr. John Trotta's right. He says, these people are idiots. They're numbskull. The policymakers, the rule makers, the freaking administrators, the superintendents, the people downtown. Unbelievable, man. That's out of his mouth. I got the book. It's over 1,000 pages. All right? But I agree with him. I agree. It should be no teacher left behind. No teacher. I never heard of it. The kid's not doing good, but you got 90% of the class doing great, and you got a couple bad apples. That's going to happen no matter what. You're going to have, if you run a business, 100 employees, and 2 might wind up to be lousy. It's not the employer's fault. That's the damn employee's fault. It's not the teacher's fault. It's the friggin' student's fault. Or the parents' fault for not whipping their own kid into shape. The teacher's got enough on their hands as it is, damn it. And then when you want to really crack the whip, well, you know, the teacher next door could be militant. She's okay because maybe she's got the right, tone, if you know what I mean. But you, oh, no, you can't crack the whip like, you know, the one next door to you does. You're not the right color. All right? Let's just put it that way. Because, you know, let's face it, if you're white, how can you say, oh, you're racist? But if you're another color, you can say, oh, you're mad at me, you're doing this to me because you're racist. See, so they can get away with it. That's just facts. I don't care if you like it or not. Those are facts right there. Believe me, I'm almost 50 years old. I've been around the block a couple times, I know. All right? So this is a bunch of crap, and Mace doesn't put up with it. The blame the teacher culture's got to stop, and Mace will put a stop to it. So Mace believes in no teacher left behind, radical responses to radical situations, the teachers union for teachers teaching in tough situations. Are you in a tough situation? Mace is the place. Mace believes that angry and abusive administrators are ruining our public schools, and that student thugs, that's what they are running our public schools. Student thugs. That's right. Student thugs, the unruly ones, the one that damn could throw a fit in your class and disrupt the class. And when you throw her out of the damn room, just like we were thrown out if we were disrupted back in the day, or you write her up and send in the office, now here comes the cavalry. Here comes the cavalry to ask you, the teacher, you know, what you're doing wrong. You know, why can't you have them do this? Why can't you have, you know, or breathe down your neck? No, you correct the damn kid. You're acting like the teacher ain't the professional and don't know any better. You know, 50, 80, 60, 70, 90,000, 100,000 a hock. To do that and get treated like crap? Mace is the place, man. Get Mace, teachers. And they kiss up to the students. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This is an epidemic. It is an epidemic, folks. There's an epidemic of violence in our school. Children deserve futures, not funerals. So many of our today's administrators simply lack guts. They do. They're weasels. Not my words, but I agree. It's Mace's words, all right? So they kiss up to the students, parents, and their administrative bosses downtown. Oh, yeah, Dr. Trotter. Absolutely, man. But they kick down towards the teachers. Kiss up and kick down. Kiss up. Did you get that? Kiss up, kick them down. Kiss up, kick them down. So they're kissing up to the parents, kissing up to the students, kissing up to downtown, kissing up to the superintendent, and then kicking the teacher right in the gut, kicking them when they're down, stomping them, treating them like crap. You freaking piece of crap administrators, you. You don't deserve to have a job. You don't even deserve to be a damn janitor in your school. All right? You must have forgotten what it's like to be a teacher. You must have forgotten what it's like to be in a teacher's position. All right? So I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of seeing it. I mean, I personally lived through it, so I know about this. All right, so this is Mace's position. You be warned. You choose. GAE is old. Page cheap. Mace aggressive. All right? Unlike Page and GAE, Mace only represents teachers, not administrators. The choice is clear. If you belong to an organization that these jackass administrators are part of, you ain't going to get defended. Hell no, they're just taking your money and laughing at you, all right? If you've been a teacher for a few years, chances are that you've been a member of one of the unions. Yeah, Page or GAE. Now join the only one that counts for administrators, the ones that they fear. Administrators fear Mace. Headed up by Dr. John Trotter, school administrators, for the most part, hate Mace. It's a big step for teachers to join Mace. It takes courage, but Mace is the only union, the only true union for teachers that administrators fear. All right? GAE and Page recruit student teachers while they are still in college. This is true. I've seen that. Mace does not. School educators do not mind teachers joining GAE and Page. In fact, they encourage teachers to join GAE and Page. Yes, they do. After all, administrators are members of them too. All right? And to have administrators create real, let's see here. They cannot join MACE. MACE knows that for GAE and Page to have administrators as members, it creates real conflicts of interest. From the jump street, MACE knows for whom it is fighting and does not vacillate or equivocate one scintilla. If your administrator does not fear your association union, then you're in the wrong one. But they fear MACE. Dr. John Trotter, EDD, education doctor. Oh, the accomplishments of this guy. Unbelievable. I have met Dr. John Trotter. I'm actually friends with him. So, this is the place, folks. This is the place to kick ass and push back. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. If you got an administrator, or don't even wait for them to start harassing you. Get MACE now. But if you got one that's harassing you, drop that 0, drop that Page, drop that GAE, and get a hero. Get MACE. Get MACE is, because it is the place.
This police officer right here in the Capitol said we can't take a picture of him. He's a public servant getting paid for by public funds, and he said we can't take his picture up there. Take his picture, take a video of it. Yeah, they're supposed to be passing laws up over the top. He's got to get us off the category 1 pretty quick for him. Great versus the United States Supreme Court said you can't take it from the Supreme Court because Washington, D.C. has an ordinance against it. Give me the Constitution, get him on the video right now. I ain't never let no one's taking me off the free speech form. No, listen here. Category 1, you can regulate 3 ways. Because the state has compelling state interest, time, manner, and place. Only if you have compelling state interest. We don't block the ingress or the egress. We don't stop anybody from coming in and out. There is no compelling state interest. If there were a compelling state interest, you got to give us the least restrictive alternative, which would be across the street in front of the legislative office building. That's the Supreme Court rule on it. I appreciate if you wouldn't spit on me, because that's what you're doing right now. Well, I'm sorry about spitting on you. I try to retrieve that spittle. Okay, but I'm telling you one thing, I get fired up when anybody try to get me off of a free speech form. Category 1, parks and sidewalks from time immemorial, you can't get them off. Sidewalks or parks. That's all there is to it. You're free to do what you're asking to do on Washington Street. I'm free to do it on any sidewalk, especially from the Capitol. The Capitol, you're supposed to uphold the Constitution. We can do it on any sidewalk in the United States. Washington, D.C. passed an ordinance that said, oh, you can't pick it in front of the Washington.
That's Dr. John Trotter in action. About 9 years ago, there was a march, I believe, on the Capitol here in Atlanta, and this cop was telling him he can't be where he was protesting something. And apparently this cop is saying he couldn't be there, and he's in the public domain. He knows his Constitution. He knows the laws inside and out. You cannot tell him otherwise, period. MACE is the place. Get MACE now, or you will be left behind, educators. MACE, right now. You can contact me, Shakalaka. I'll point you in the right direction. All right? But whatever you do, don't stick with Page or GAE. They ain't going to go to bat for you at all. At all. And you don't want to be caught in a bad situation without any defense. That's the offense. That's a sample of Dr. John Trotter. He knows his stuff. He will shut your administrators damn down and shut their mouth, and they will back the hell off of you. They will become your best friends. Trust me, not that you want them to, but I'm just saying. Until next time, you receive the shock treatment.